about to leave, already packing. Come with me, I'm not really asking. We'll get away to a place where we don't know. About to see.
When you want someone to listen to your advice, provide more than just the desired destination. Also, give her a map for getting there. It has been shown that if you add to this how your idea will prevent negative or unpleasant consequences, you will be infinitely more successful in your attempt to persuade. Leventhal, Singer, and Jones, 1965. A well-known sweepstakes company used to have a slogan that said, "You can be a winner." It did very well with this for a long time. But then, I'm sure after consulting a psychologist or two, its slogan changed to, "You may already be a winner." This greatly increased their success. Why? Because now the person receiving this envelope became fearful that he might lose something that he already had. Throw out an envelope that contains untold riches? No way! This was different than gaining something new, as the old slogan implied. Now he risked losing something. This is a much more powerful motivator. Therefore, focus on what he will be saving himself from, for example, the heartache, money, energy, etc., rather than what he has to gain from listening to you. 4 other psychological factors to consider. People tend to respond more favorably to solutions if they believe the plan of action came from them. Try to remind someone that it was he who first had the idea or put you in the right direction, etc. Let him know, too, that this new way of thinking is really consistent with who he is. Remind him of other things he's done that are consistent with this current belief or action. You may recall from a previous chapter that all human beings have an inherent need for order and consistency. If he views this as a continuation of his thinking and not a departure from it, you'll increase your chances of getting compliance. Nobody wants to hear advice from a know-it-all. One of the very best ways of offering advice is to let the person know that you don't believe you have all the answers. You'll be perceived as infinitely more credible and sincere. A great way to phrase your advice is, "There are things I think I know, and there are things I know, and this is something that I know I know." Above all, remember, enthusiasm is contagious. The more excited and passionate you are about what you're saying, the more excited he will become about it. Follow this strategy for surefire success. But before you do, let's take a look at one of the biggest mistakes that people make when giving advice. This aspect of human nature is responsible for more stubborn thinking than anything else. Research in human behavior shows us that when we feel our freedom is being restricted or limited, we tend to move farther toward what is being limited. The name given to this is called reactance, and it occurs when we feel that someone is trying to limit our freedom. And it can be so powerful that Rodewald and Davison, 1983, found that people may do the opposite of what you are asking just because of reactance. In situations that are likely to generate reactance, you will meet with great resistance if you promote a hard sell. No one will listen with an open mind to what you have to say if he feels he's being forced into it. And in fact, that makes sense. Why listen if you feel that your own wishes aren't being considered? Therefore, the best approach is to let the person know ahead of time that he has the final say on what he ultimately does. Then lay out the facts, presenting both sides, the pros and the cons. You'll hear in another chapter why this is necessary. And follow the rest of the tactics in this section. Strategy review. 90% of the decisions we make are based on emotion. We then use logic to justify our actions. You must arouse emotions in your attempt to persuade. Offer a specific game plan with a clear-cut course of action for proceeding. Add to this how your idea will prevent negative or unpleasant consequences. This is more effective than explaining what someone will gain by listening to you. If true, remind him how he is in some way the one who first gave you the idea. Let him know, too, that this new way of thinking is really consistent with who he is. Relate the things he's done that are consistent with his current belief or action. Don't come across as a know-it-all, and you'll be perceived as more credible and sincere in this situation. Remember that enthusiasm is contagious. If you're not excited about the idea, he will not be excited about it either.